Before we begin, a few important words. This recording is intended for relaxation, personal development, and general well-being. It is not therapy, it is not medical treatment, and it is not a substitute for professional care from a licensed healthcare provider. No specific results are promised or guaranteed. Every person's experience is unique, and what you take from this session is entirely your own. If you are dealing with a medical condition, a mental health concern, or are currently receiving treatment of any kind, please continue to work with your healthcare provider. This recording is meant to complement your well-being, never to replace professional guidance. Hypnosis recordings, while effective for many people, are not a replacement for working one-on-one with a trained and highly skilled clinical hypnotherapist. If you are dealing with a specific issue and would like personalized help, I invite you to visit phobiafree.life and schedule a free consultation with a certified clinical hypnotherapist. Before we begin, this recording contains hypnosis. Please do not listen to this while driving, operating machinery, or doing anything that requires your full attention. Find a quiet, comfortable place where you can simply relax, undisturbed, for the duration of this session. If at any time you need to be fully alert, you can simply open your eyes, take a deep breath, and return to full waking awareness immediately. Find yourself in a comfortable position now. And you don't need to do anything in particular, just allow your body to settle the way it naturally wants to when given permission to simply be still. You might notice the weight of your body against whatever is supporting you right now. And isn't it interesting how you never really noticed that support before, and yet it was always there? Your eyes can remain open, or they may find their own way to close. And some people find their eyes closing almost before they expect them to. And that's perfectly fine, because your unconscious mind always knows exactly what it needs. With each breath you take, you don't even have to try to relax, because relaxation isn't something you do, it's something you allow, and your body already knows how. Perhaps you notice a gentle heaviness beginning in your shoulders, or maybe it starts somewhere else entirely. It doesn't matter where it begins, only that it spreads slowly, naturally, the way warmth spreads through your hands on a cold day, without any effort at all. And as that comfortable feeling continues to deepen, your mind may begin to drift a little, the way it does in those moments just before sleep, when thoughts become softer, less urgent, more like clouds passing than anything requiring your attention. You don't need to follow every word I say. In fact, your unconscious mind is already doing exactly what it needs to do, and your conscious mind is welcome to rest. With every breath out, just a little more comfortable, a little more settled, a little more yours. And when you're ready, we can go somewhere quite wonderful together. I want to start by telling you something that might surprise you. Insomnia is not a disease. It's not a condition you were born with. It's not something that's wrong with you. Insomnia is a habit, a learned habit. And the beautiful thing about anything that's been learned is that it can be unlearned. You weren't born this way. There was a time, a real time in your real life when you slept easily, When sleep wasn't something you had to think about or worry about or fight for, it was just what happened at the end of the day, like breathing, like blinking, like your heart beating, automatic, natural, effortless. And I'd like you to go back to that time now. Not to a specific memory necessarily, although if one comes to mind, that's fine, but to the feeling of being someone who sleeps easily. What did that feel like in your body? What was your word for it? Maybe it was comfort. Maybe it was safety. Maybe it was just the absence of trying. Whatever it was, find it now. Maybe it was being young, and sleep was just the thing that came after playing, after running, after a day so full that your body didn't even ask your permission. It just shut down, the way a phone shuts down when the battery is empty. Or maybe it was a particular night, a night when something was especially right, and you remember the feeling of sinking into the bed and thinking nothing, absolutely nothing, just gone. Or maybe it's your own time, your own feeling. Whatever it is, let it come back now. Let that feeling return to your body, not as a memory you're watching from the outside, but as something you're inside of, something you're wearing. Let it settle around you like a warm bath, and notice how your body responds to it, how your shoulders might drop just a little, how your jaw might soften, how your breathing might change without you telling it to. That's your body remembering, and your body has a much better memory than your mind gives it credit for. Now let that feeling grow. Give it permission to spread. You don't need to push it or direct it. Just remove the walls around it. Let it spill over into the rest of your body freely, the way water spills over the edge of a full glass, not because anyone pushed it, but because there was simply too much of it to stay contained. Good. Now, I want to tell you something about knots. Have you ever tried to untangle a knot by pulling harder? It doesn't work, does it? The harder you pull, the tighter the knot becomes. And insomnia works the same way. The harder you try to sleep, the more awake you become. The more you fight it, the stronger it gets. But here's what's interesting. Have you ever left a knot alone for a while? Come back to it the next day and suddenly it just loosens, almost by itself, as if the rope needed time to remember that being straight was its natural state. Being knotted was the anomaly. Being knotted was the thing that required effort. And that's exactly what we're doing right now. We're not fighting the knot of insomnia. We're not pulling harder. We're simply leaving it alone and allowing your body to remember that sleep is its natural state. Wakefulness at 2 a.m. is the anomaly. Lying there with a racing mind is the thing that requires effort. Sleep requires nothing, absolutely nothing. It's what happens when you stop doing everything else. And maybe you can feel that loosening right now, that gentle unknotting, not dramatic, not sudden, just a quiet softening. The way ice melts in a warm room. It doesn't decide to melt, it just can't maintain its hardness in the presence of warmth. And your tension, your wakefulness, your habit of lying there trying, it can't maintain itself in the presence of this feeling you've found. You know, there's a curious thing about forgetting. Your mind is actually much better at forgetting than it is at remembering. Think about it. You forget thousands of things every single day. Where you put your keys, what you had for lunch on Tuesday, the name of that person you met last month. Your mind lets things go all the time, effortlessly, without even consulting you. And I wonder, what would happen if you simply forgot to have insomnia tonight? What if your mind just let it go, the way it lets go of 1,000 other things every day without any effort at all? What if you forgot to lie there watching the clock, forgot to calculate how many hours you have left, forgot to worry about whether you'll be tired tomorrow? What if you just forgot, and by the time you remembered, it was already morning? And that feeling, your feeling, bring it back now. Feel it fully. And amplify it. Let it double. And again. Until it feels like it's not just in your body, it is your body. Every cell saturated with this feeling, every nerve, every fiber. So much of this feeling that there's simply no room left for anything else. No room for worry, no room for planning, no room for the old habit. It's been crowded out, gently, completely, the way daylight crowds out darkness without ever fighting it. And you might try to think about your insomnia right now. Go ahead, try. Try to find that old familiar anxiety about sleep, that worry, that frustration. And notice how hard it is to find. Because when your body is this full of the feeling you chose, that old pattern just can't get a foothold. It's like trying to stay angry while laughing. You could try, yet the harder you try, the more ridiculous it becomes. And that's freedom, not fighting the old pattern, just filling up with something better until there's no room left for it. Now imagine a moment tomorrow morning. You're opening your eyes, and the first thought isn't relief that the night is over. It isn't exhaustion. It isn't dread. The first thought is something more like, I slept. Not a dramatic revelation, just a quiet, secure knowing that you slept, that your body did what it was always designed to do, and that the old habit, that tangled knot, has loosened a little more. And each night from now on, it loosens a little more, not because you're fighting it, but because you've stopped pulling on it, because you've remembered something your body always knew, that sleep isn't something you achieve. It's something that was always there, underneath the trying, underneath the worry, underneath the habit, like the floor under a rug. You don't have to build the floor, you just have to pull back the rug. And the rug is already being pulled back, right now, with each breath, with each wave of that feeling washing through you, with each moment that you're here, not trying, not fighting, just allowing. And you can allow it all the way now. All the way down. The knot is loose. The habit is dissolving. And underneath it, underneath all of it, sleep was always waiting. Patient. Quiet. Ready. And it's ready now. And so are you. Let go. All the way.